Welcome back to Music Theory 1. This is Chapter 12, Cancelling Accidentals. This is going to be a much quicker class, mostly based on exercises. Okay, so we learnt last lesson about major keys and the one before that about introducing accidentals, but sometimes we want to go back on what we just did and take accidentals out of the music. We might sharpen an F, but we don't always want it to remain sharp. So the example that they've given right at the top here, that an accidental lasts until the end of the bar. For example, look at the note marked with an asterisk. In this bar, it is F sharp, and it sounds like this. Re, mi, fi, sol, fi, mi. Notice I went back to fi. Yeah. Same going up as it was going down. If we wanted to change it back to F natural, making the sound fa, you would have to add a natural sign, and you do the same if F sharp is in the key signature. Both of the examples on that same line, second line of music there, sound the same. Re, mi, fi, sol, fa, mi. You can hear the difference between the F sharp, the fi, and the F natural, the fa. Now we are told to look at this example. Note 1 is F sharp because of the key signature. Note 2 is F natural because there's an accidental in front of it. Note 3 is F natural. It stays F natural because the accidental applies until it is cancelled. F sharp, note number 4 is F sharp again. It cancels the natural sign that was before note 2 and affected notes 2 and 3. So we have F sharp, F natural, F sharp, and it sounds like this. So, fi, mi, fi. Sorry, I will not say the fi, I'll say it's fa. So, fi, mi, fa, fi, so. Hopefully you could hear that we had two of the same note in the middle and that the fourth F was the same as the first one. They're both F sharps. Okay. Hopefully this makes sense to you, that we cancel an accidental using another accidental sign. Right? We can sharp, flat, or natural, doesn't matter. And that accidental will affect notes for the whole of the rest of the bar. In a new bar, we would need a new accidental if we wanted to change it from whatever was in the key signature. So here's our first exercise. It says, add an accidental in front of each note marked with an asterisk in order to cancel whatever the previous accidental was, or perhaps to change it from the key signature. Going to go for a lovely turquoise pen today. Right, so in the example we can see that the F natural in the beginning of the bar cancels the F sharp in the key signature. Don't forget there's an F sharp in the key signature. F natural cancels that. If we want F sharp back at the end of the bar, because of the F natural, we need to show a sharp sign again. Okay, so and it sounds like this. Re, fa, mi, fi, sol, re, ti. We're now into the bass clef. So we've got C, D, E, D sharp, E, F, and now they want us to say cancel the previous accidental. So we had a D sharp and we want to get rid of that, so let's put a natural. It should really be, there we go, on the line. Okay, now this example sounds like this. Do, re, mi, fa, re, do, ti, la, sol, do. Hopefully you could hear the difference between the re and the re. Exercise 1B. We can see starting on an A, G sharp, A. Now the next G is also G sharp because the accidental applies. Yeah, this applies to this. Now at the asterisk they want to say, oh, get rid of that, want it to be G natural again, so we put a natural sign on it. So we have A, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, G natural, F sharp because of the key signature, D major, F sharp and C sharp, and notice they've got a C natural. So they have put in an accidental to cancel the C sharp of the key signature. And now at the asterisk, they want to put it back. So we want a C sharp, so we need to sharpen it back up again because it says cancel whatever the previous one was. And then we are home and dry with nothing else required of us. We can just write out the notes for you, just so you can see what's going on. And it sounds like this. La is the first note, and it's la, si, la, sol, fi, sol, la, do, ti, di, re, di, ti, la, sol, fi. Exercise 1C has an interesting thing going on with it because it's got an E flat in it, something we haven't seen in any key signatures yet, but we've got F, and then E flat, D, and then we're told, right, cancel the previous accidental. Okay, let's put the natural sign in. Yep, to make that E natural. E flat and E natural. We've got F and C, and then B natural, cancelling the B flat in the key signature. We're in F major, aren't we? And we're asked here with the asterisk to cancel that B natural at the beginning of the bar, so we put a B flat in. And it sounds like this. Fa, me, re, mi, fa, do, ti, so, te, do, la, fa. Hopefully you could hear the difference between E flat and E natural, me and mi, and B natural and B flat, ti and te. Good. Let's have a look at exercise 2. This is the last exercise for this little unit. Name each note marked with a number. The letter name is enough if it doesn't have an accidental, but think about the key signature and any accidentals from earlier in the bar. The answers to numbers 1 and 2 are given as examples. If it actually has a natural, I'm going to say write the natural for safety. So we've got F major, yeah, B flat in the key signature. Bass clef. 3/4 time. It sounds like this, by the way. Do, te, la, so, fa, re, chi, do, ti, do, so, te, la, fa. And tell you what, just for you, let's write in what every note is. It's good practice. This one, number 5, is back to B flat because of the key signature. The B natural from the previous bar has expired. It only lasts a bar. Yep. At the bar line, the accidentals expire and the key signature takes control again, which has a B flat in it. Right. Exercise 2B, we are in D major. That means F sharp and C sharp are in the key signature. You can see them there. We start with the first note, that is a D. There we are, there's a G sharp there. Now, this is a G natural. Why is it a G natural? You might say, well, we've got a G sharp earlier in the bar. But remember, an accidental only changes later notes in the bar if they're on the same line or in the same space. That is to say, it only affects the octave in which it's written. Now, in most modern printed music, we would actually have written what's called a cautionary accidental, a bracketed G natural, just to remind people, by the way, that one's a G natural. It's considered good manners. So I'll show it there in a bracket. Right, there's an F sharp next at number 4 for the key signature. D, then a C natural, yeah, the natural sign cancelling out the key signature. Notice we've got a C natural and then a C sharp. We have to put the natural sign back in because the key signature would otherwise have reapplied in that third bar, sharpening the C to a C sharp. But then we do have a C sharp afterwards. And that C sharp continues to be sharp, ending on a D, and it sounds like this. Re, la, si, la, so, fi, re, do, ti, re, mi, ti, re. And that is the end of this video, a nice shorter one today. See you in the next one.